Hey everyone, my name is Carlos. I'm a professional photographer and a drone pilot based here in Southern California. I'm trying something new this week, so bear with me. I do not necessarily like lists, and that's what I'm doing this week. I've compiled some of my favorite clips, some of my most viral moments that I've filmed throughout the last 3 years or since I started my channel, and I want to go through those with you and offer a fresh set of eyes on it. And for those of you who have seen these videos in the past, because I have a lot of new subscribers who may have not seen them, hopefully these new insights and this look back at them will get you some new perspectives on that particular moment. So let's get right into this first one. It was one of my first videos with 1 million views. I remember this day pretty vividly. The shark stayed near the family for a bit of time. And it's a nice-sized juvenile shark, actually. I later found out that one of the occupants of the kayak is actually a pretty well-known local marine biologist. Now, I'm not going to mention his name here, but I'm not surprised that the reaction to this shark was one of more strategy than panic. So that's what I would expect a seasoned marine biologist to do. They did the right thing. Notice how they huddled up together here to appear larger. Now, the shark did not display any aggressive motions. It did linger for a little bit, and it was obviously curious. In fact, you can see the pectoral fins are spread really wide, indicating that the shark was relaxed. However, it circled a few more times, and it got pretty close to the family, and even displayed its dorsal fin a couple times. Now, I've been in the position where a shark comes up next to you and you see that dorsal fin, and it's always a surprise. Because there were kids in the kayaks, moments like this do put me a little bit uneasy when they're happening just because they're kids. But the shark did not do anything, and in fact, in all cases that I've seen with sharks near humans, the sharks really haven't cared to go any closer once they figured out they're humans. One question people ask me about this particular encounter is how close to shore is it? If I remember correctly, this was around 100 to 120 yards offshore, so it wasn't very far out there. It looks like it's far on the video, but it's not far out at all. I've since filmed quite a few encounters like this, but this one will always stand out in my mind, probably because it was one of the first ones to make me nervous at the time. Okay, so going into the next one, a swimmer encounters a shark. This one I filmed shortly after all the beaches opened during the pandemic. It didn't really surprise me to see so many swimmers out at the time. This one was really interesting because of all the hours I've spent filming sharks, it's the ones where swimmers and sharks are together that is probably the most rare to capture. I get the surfers, I get the kayakers and the paddleboarders, but people actually swimming and then a shark gets close to them, that's probably the most rare instance of encounter that I see. Now, this is a juvenile white shark, and despite that, you can see that the swimmer reacts as soon as he sees the fin. One thing people ask is how far away was this from shore? That's a question that comes up with every video, and if I did warn the swimmer. Now, to answer the first question, this is pretty close to shore. In fact, when I zoom out at the very end, you can actually see the shore in the humans. This is really close to shore. One thing people always ask is how far away I was. Why didn't I warn the swimmer? I'm actually about 1.5, almost 2 miles away at this point. My initial thought while I was watching this is that it appears that the swimmer is going toward the shark, but in reality what's going on is that the swimmer likely has no idea where the shark is. He perhaps sees the shadow at times, maybe the tip of the dorsal fin in glimpses, but at ocean level it's really, really hard to see any detail, and especially if you're swimming and you're right at the water mark with your eyes. Imagine the waves going up and down, the water level going up and down, the glare, all of that makes it pretty much impossible to see a shark. Now, from above, it looks like he's swimming towards a shark. Honestly, I don't think that's what he's doing. It's hard to imagine that he would be swimming toward the shark. He does not panic, so that's a good thing. And the shark didn't display any aggressive motions, so I would say that this swimmer handled it pretty well. What the swimmer did do is likely keep the shadow in front of him, and that's the key. By keeping the shark in front of him, he is essentially standing his ground. And now, thinking back to this encounter, I do wish I could have connected with the swimmer to get an idea of what he really was seeing. Now, the next one is kelp attacks. I've always said that my favorite encounters are those that don't involve humans, and so this next segment is all about just sharks and kelp. This particular clip right here has, I think, somewhere around 20 million views on Facebook alone. But before I go further, let's pause the video right there. So this is clearly a great white shark, right? Now, for some reason, on Facebook, there are literally a couple thousand comments about whether this is a white shark or an orca. And so many people believe this is an orca. I don't know why. It's pretty obvious it's a white shark. But I believe it's because the white shark seems so dark, almost black in color on top, and because on social media, the attention span is probably a little bit shorter than here on YouTube, and so people probably commented prior to watching the whole video. But anyways, you can see it's got a vertical tail. There's no blowhole. Those are dead giveaways. This is a great white shark. But despite these obvious points that this is a great white shark, many people refuse to believe it and still to this day will comment that this is an orca. The reality is, it is a shark I've filmed many times before. She's definitely darker, and the reason she's darker is very common among sharks. It's because sharks that spend more time at the surface actually get a tan and get darker, much like humans do. There's a cool link I've included in the video description below that is a study regarding how sharks get a tan, so check that out. Okay, so back to the video. What's going on here? Over the past few years, I've noticed some of these larger juvenile white sharks approaching kelp and biting at it. I'm not even going to try to explain why they're doing this, but it's pretty much impossible to definitively say why. But let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion on why these sharks are eating kelp. Are they becoming vegetarians, or are they just doing it for fun? Are they even eating it? Because if you look at the footage, quite often it looks like it comes out of their gills. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Okay, so people unknowingly near a great white shark can sometimes be a little bit comical. These are some of my famous yet sometimes funny encounters of people near a shark and not even knowing they are by one. Here this guy goes right into a shark on his paddleboard. He's going straight forward into the shark and never sees it. Now, there's a lot of debate out there on this particular video on whether the guy saw the shark or not. But I can tell you from experience, this guy didn't see the shark whatsoever. The reason is because the sharks at eye level are nearly impossible to see, a point that I made earlier, especially with the sun and the glare. In this case, the paddleboarder merely catches waves in and out. Some argued he must have seen it because he headed back to shore, but really, this guy's just catching waves. He went right back out, caught the next wave, and went back in. So he did not go back in because he saw the shark. He just kept going back out and surfing. Here's another guy. This one really cracks me up. More so now because I'm friends with the guy in this video. We became friends, and he admits that it was nearly impossible to see the shark at eye level. Here's another guy. This man is focused on learning how to stay on the board. He's trying unsuccessfully and yet unknowingly near this shark that's as big as the board itself. It always makes me laugh when I see this. I'm not laughing at the guy, I'm just laughing at the whole situation, the irony of the moment there. Then there's these guys. All too often, surfers will wave and look at my drone instead of realizing to look straight down. Notice how close this shark comes to the surfer, who's instead looking at the drone. That happens a lot. Now, in this viral moment, the kids on the boogie boards never saw this larger juvenile white shark, and it comes within a couple feet of them. It is one of the few times that I've run that 1.5 miles down to the beach to let them know that they were next to a shark. I actually showed this video to these kids on the beach, and they were oohing and ahhing. Guess what they did? They went right back out there. This is also one of my most viral pieces. It is a very nice sized juvenile shark. The surfer sensed the drone and he knew what that meant. I managed to interview this surfer in a video I did shortly thereafter. You can see that video in the link down here in the video description. I've since become friends with this surfer, and I do want to make more videos with him this year. See if he has any more shark encounters while he's out there doing his thing. My favorite viral moment, well, besides the newborn great white shark footage that kind of took the internet by storm earlier this year, has got to be this piece of footage that I shot last year. So what's going on here is you have a couple fishermen, and they have been fishing for a good portion of that morning. One gentleman, the reason he's got that wetsuit on is because he's a spear fisherman, so he was in the water spear fishing. I filmed some other spear fishermen swimming near sharks as well, unknowingly, and then this shark came to this boat. Now, the timing couldn't have been worse because this guy happened to jump into the water right next to his boat. What you can't see in this clip is that he's got two, maybe they're dead fish or live fish on a stringer just on the other side where he's in the water. That is what's attracting this shark. It's not the fisherman in the water that's attracting him. That shark senses those stress signals being given by that fish. Now, they don't see the shark until my drone gets closer and they finally see that dorsal fin, and then there's this mad scramble to get back on the boat. It's painfully slow, but it's fast. It's hard to explain. I'd like to connect with these folks to see what they could see, but it is one of my favorite pieces of footage. And right here you can see that he does thank me for letting him know that a pretty large shark was coming next to him. This isn't a giant shark, but it is a big shark. This is like a 10-foot great white shark. That could definitely do some damage to you. So it is, to this day, one of my favorite pieces of footage. It's a more recent one. I hope I can make some more videos like this for you. I do have a lot more in my archives that I can go through. I know I've got a lot of new subscribers who have maybe not seen some of these videos, so hopefully this gets you to go back into those videos and look at them. As always, I want to thank you for watching my channel, for subscribing. It really does make a difference when you share, when you comment, and when you like the videos. I know you get tired of hearing that from everybody, but it is super important for us creators, and I can't thank you enough for watching. I'm going to go try to find some more sharks. The weather has been pretty bad here in Southern California as we have a lot of fog lately, but let's see. Maybe next week I can get you some fresh encounters, some fresh shark footage, and stay tuned. I've got some fresh orca stuff coming up in the very near future. In the meantime, everybody have a good week, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.